My name is Nazli Rehman. I'm originally from India, Kashmir to be more specific. I came to Canada in 1989. It was December. At the time, I was married. I had one daughter. Um, and 3 years into it, my ex and I separated. And by that time, I had Sabrina, my younger daughter. And I've been single since. I work, I manage a drugstore, and what else? I have 2 kids, so juggling home and work, and I also volunteer occasionally. So it has been quite a ride. The last 15 years, especially, I've learned a lot. And faced a lot of challenges, but I think I came through it okay. Starting on my own, I went back to school, and I think the biggest challenge in the beginning was I had to go back to work and study and kind of get the Canadian experience of things and get back into the workforce. So my biggest challenge in the beginning was how to juggle parenting and how to juggle the girls and school and everything else. I had been a stay-at-home mom for the first 5 years of Samara's life, and the idea of leaving Sabrina at a daycare, it was very difficult. Because I was starting from scratch, literally, when I left my husband, I basically just walked out with the girls and some family photos. But and I didn't have a car, and it was a huge challenge taking buses and walking. I hadn't walked in 100 years, but it was a good thing. I lost a lot of weight, but waking up early in the morning, you're making the daycare, rushing back to school, and then rushing back to pick the girls up. And so I think in the beginning, just to juggle everything was such a challenge. And at the same time, I was also aware that I had to raise good kids. The pressure of society was there. First of all, getting a divorce, making a decision not to live in a certain situation, which was not good for me, not good for the girls, was perceived in our community as, oh my God, why are you doing this? Like, why are you leaving your husband? Try to work things out. And I had. However, that was a big challenge, and everybody was saying that, oh, you're not going to be able to handle raising, you have girls, and you have, so that was always at the back of my mind, and that I was aware that people expected me to fail, especially as a mother. So that was something I did not really want. So what I started doing was paying more attention to what the girls were doing, and where they were all the time, controlling everything that they did, what they saw on TV and everything. So because I was going to be this perfect mother with perfect kids, so what ended up happening was I became very controlling. The girls were almost scared of me. They wouldn't share ideas with me. Like, they were little, they would keep things. They didn't know how I would react to if mom found out, like the silliest of things. And I could see that happening, and in my heart of hearts, I knew I wasn't doing it right the way it was supposed to be done. And it was just by chance where I was living. I had sought counseling for myself, and one of the ladies over there suggested that I take parenting classes. And the notion of a parenting class was so foreign to me. I was like, what is that? There are classes for parents. So, but I did go. It was a week-long course, and the things I learned over there were just, it was almost like somebody had taken this burden off of my head. And what used to happen was we attended a day, and then for a couple of days we were supposed to practice, like put into practice what we had learned. For me, it was a huge shift, what I was used to. But over here, it was a huge shift. I was told that you need to treat the two girls that you have as individuals, not as kids. If they ask you a question, you have to be very careful how you answer that, because you're making an impression. You are the first teacher they have come across, like you are the first person they are in contact with who's gonna teach them. And what you do everyday life, they are looking at you, observing you, what you say, how you act, how do you interact with other people. They are looking and learning. Not you probably are not aware of it. And then all of a sudden I said, oh yeah, that is so true. And just even disciplining. I remember I used to just, okay, Samara, you're grounded, and you are going to your room. And I didn't see any improvement in the behavior with grounding and thing. So the one thing that they taught me was the consequences for the actions should directly affect the kid. They should become uneasy. If they are used to something, you should take that privilege away so that it affects them and they get uncomfortable. And it was funny how it worked, because you laid down the rules. Okay, so like I'll give you an example. Sabrina was almost 3 years old, and it was Samara's birthday. And Sabrina was one of those cranky little kids occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally we'd go to the mall and she would act up, I want this and I want that. So I was preparing for the birthday party and everything, and I went to buy some streamers and everything, and I told Sabrina, I said, we are going for Baji's birthday party, we are going to buy, and I want you to be at your best behavior. I don't want any crying, I don't want any screaming, and otherwise, if you do that, I'm not going to buy any fun stuff for Baji, and we are just going to have a plain, simple birthday at home for her. And they listened, and we went to the mall. And sure enough, Sabrina started screaming, and I want this, and she started acting. And I remember I just turned around, and I walked out of the mall. And the silence from both the girls was deafening. They didn't say a word, because they had already been told that this was going to happen. I think at the time they didn't assume that I was going to do it, and I actually walked out. And sure enough, we had a nice birthday party at home without any streamers or balloons. And we didn't discuss it after the fact or anything, but the girls knew, and I heard Sabrina apologizing to her older sister. And they were 3, but they understand everything. So that is how the whole thing started for me. And it was very easy. I didn't have to yell, scream, and we built from there. And it became a habit with me, and it has helped me so enormously. It was a learning. There were times when I was supposed to do, that your first instinct is to, what? Okay, this is it. But I had to bite my tongue a lot of times and say, no, this is not the right way. So and it always worked out. And I have to say, I have such a good relationship with them. They come and talk to me about everything, and I always know where they are, what they are doing, and the relationship that we have is just incredible. I'm so thankful.